Today's journal topic is as follows. What is your theme song? So we're talking about your personal song that just kind of connects to who you are. Music is a universal language. Every culture all around the world has and enjoys music. Music inspires us and connects us. So tell me what song best fits you and your identity, who you are today, right now. So think about it. I don't want you to take a whole bunch of time right now, but I just want you to take a moment and start to kind of think. What song is like, are you really connected to right now? What's your personal vibe right now? The way that I integrate SEL into my ELA curriculum is I like to bring it into our everyday practices, into something that we're always going to do so that it always feels like a warm, safe environment. One way I really like to do it is during my journal time and my journal topics. We find all kinds of interesting and creative ways to relate to each other and to connect to each other and build community.
The way that I integrate SEL into my ELA curriculum is by using Quickwrites. I find relevant topics that connect to all my students. So a topic right now would be COVID, pandemic. A lot of students are struggling, they're sad, and it's a great way for them to just have a voice and have a space to write. So we're gonna start with our poem. It says, "A slice of life. What's as confusing as last week's science lab? Can be as sweet as sugar, then sharp as a knife. It comes quickly, but with no instructions on how to handle it. Perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Don't let it pass by without making a mark." So you guys are going to write about what it feels like to be a teenager, an adolescent in 2021. So you can use these sentence frames. This time in my life feels like, or being a teenager during the year 2021 is. So I'm going to give you about 3 minutes. Remember, we're writing the whole time. We're not stopping. Once it's 3 minutes, we stop, and then we're going to upload on Padlet. Upload your writing, and then you're going to comment on someone else's.
It's an advantage to integrate SEL into the curriculum because now you don't have to pause. You don't have to make time. I don't have to take away from my curriculum to do my starters. Starters are part of my regular curriculum. Everyone does starters, board work in every class. It's just something we do. It's how we transition kids from one thing to the next. So it really helps to transition together when I'm taking my transitions and putting SEL into them, making sure I'm building in that empathy, making sure I'm taking time to not just practice a skill, but making it a little bit more purposeful.
I think it's important to integrate SEL into my curriculum because we don't have that much time, and it only takes 2 to 3 minutes for them to write about their life, and it's comfortable and it's a safe place for their voice.
So it's not just the skill practice at this time. Yes, my students are still practicing writing comprehensively. They're still practicing their speaking and listening skills. But why not add that extra SEL component? Save myself a lot of time because now I don't have to do an extra lesson. I'm just building it right in. So I'm still hitting my reading, writing, listening, and speaking, all in the same assignment. But now we're also hitting that SEL component and making sure everyone is safe and warm and welcome, which means when it's time for me to transition to the work, to actual standards during the lesson, I don't have to pull the kids in. They're here with me already. We came together, we built community together, and now we're ready to go.
For me, my favorite song when I was like little was the Goofy Goober song from SpongeBob, and it reminds me because like I make like in my friend group like I'm the goofy one. I'm the one that makes people laugh and stuff. So.
I love that. Thank you so much. Let's give her a poetry applause. Thank you so much. SpongeBob has like some legitimate good songs in there on his show. I love, which one was it? Gary Come Back? Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that one. That was great. I'm going to call one more person before we move on to our assignment.
A great source for ELA teachers would be a Quickwrite Handbook by Reif. I think it's a very usable, friendly book. There are short mentor texts, a couple of questions, and they can integrate that with any type of SEL.
You can go and find tons of different journal topics online. You can go and look for SEL journal topics. A lot of them are just really interesting. Actually, after journal today, one of my kids came up to me and said, "Miss Matsalia, I really like the journal. Hey, next time can we talk about really good quotes that we like?" Yes, now I've got a new journal because one of my students now connected to it and said, "Hey, can we do this?" And it's a community. So I'm letting the kids input. Sometimes our journals are student generated. Sometimes they're generated by what's going on in the world around us because you know what? Sometimes they need to process what's going on in the world around us. That's all social emotional learning.